I'm your rich uncle. I want to see my family win. Follow my advice, and you'll be the rich uncle in your family.
When people think about taxes, they usually imagine government deductions from their paycheck, income tax, sales tax, or property tax. But there is another kind of tax that rarely gets discussed. One that does not appear on any official statement, yet affects millions of people every single day. This is the hidden tax on poor people, a system of extra costs, penalties, limitations, and structural disadvantages that quietly drain money from those who can least afford it. Unlike traditional taxes, this burden is not transparent, not evenly distributed, and often not even recognized as a tax at all. Yet, its impact can be just as significant, if not more damaging, than any formal tax system. Today we will talk about the hidden tax on poor people. One explains this. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. One of the most immediate forms of this hidden tax is the higher cost of basic goods and services. People with limited income often cannot afford to buy in bulk, which means they pay more per unit for everyday essentials like food, toiletries, and household items. While wealthier individuals can take advantage of discounts, wholesale pricing, and long-term savings, those living paycheck to paycheck are forced to purchase smaller quantities at higher prices. Over time, this difference adds up significantly, effectively penalizing people for having less money. Another major component of the hidden tax is the cost of financial services. Individuals without access to traditional banking often rely on alternatives such as check cashing services, payday loans, or money transfer fees. These services frequently charge high fees and interest rates, making it more expensive to access one's own money. For example, cashing a paycheck may involve a percentage fee, while short-term loans can carry extremely high interest rates that trap borrowers in cycles of debt. Late fees and penalties are another powerful mechanism of this hidden tax. When someone is struggling financially, even a small delay in paying a bill can result in additional charges. These penalties are often fixed amounts, meaning they represent a larger percentage of income for low-income individuals. A missed payment on rent, utilities, or credit cards can quickly escalate into a much larger financial burden, making it even harder to catch up. Transportation is another area where the hidden tax becomes evident. People with lower incomes often cannot afford reliable vehicles, which can lead to higher long-term costs. Frequent repairs, inefficient fuel usage, or reliance on expensive transportation alternatives such as taxis or ride services can drain financial resources. In some cases, limited transportation options also restrict access to better-paying jobs, further reinforcing the cycle of poverty. Housing is one of the most significant contributors to this issue. Low-income individuals often pay a higher percentage of their income on rent compared to wealthier individuals. Additionally, they may live in areas with fewer resources, higher crime rates, and limited access to quality education and healthcare. These conditions can create additional expenses such as higher insurance costs, medical bills, or the need for private services that are not readily available. The hidden tax also appears in the form of time costs. People with fewer financial resources often have to spend more time managing everyday tasks. This can include waiting in long lines for public services, commuting longer distances, or handling complex administrative processes. Time, which could be used for education, skill development, or additional work, is instead consumed by these inefficiencies. In this sense, time becomes an invisible currency that disproportionately affects those with limited means. Health-related expenses are another critical factor. Individuals with lower incomes may delay medical care due to cost, leading to more serious and expensive health issues over time. Preventive care, which is often more affordable in the long run, may not be accessible. As a result, small health problems can escalate into major financial burdens, further straining already limited resources. Education and opportunity also play a role in the hidden tax. Access to quality education, training programs, and professional networks is often limited for low-income individuals. This lack of access can reduce earning potential and make it more difficult to improve one's financial situation. Additionally, the cost of education itself, tuition, materials, transportation, can be a barrier that prevents upward mobility. Another overlooked aspect is the cost of stress. Financial instability creates constant pressure, which can affect decision-making and overall well-being. Stress can lead to short-term thinking, making it harder to plan for the future or make optimal financial choices. This psychological burden is rarely acknowledged, yet it has a real impact on financial outcomes. Technology access also contributes to the hidden tax. In a world where many services are digital, lacking access to reliable internet or devices can limit opportunities. Whether it is applying for jobs, accessing educational resources, or managing finances, technology plays a crucial role. Without it, individuals may face additional barriers and costs. The legal and administrative system can also impose hidden costs. Fines, fees, and bureaucratic processes can disproportionately affect those with limited resources. For example, missing a court date or failing to pay a fine on time can result in additional penalties, creating a cycle of increasing financial burden. Importantly, these hidden taxes are interconnected. For instance, expensive housing may reduce the ability to save, leading to reliance on high-cost financial services, which in turn increases debt. This interconnected system makes it difficult to break free from the cycle. Breaking out of this system requires both individual and structural changes. On an individual level, increasing financial awareness, budgeting carefully, and seeking lower-cost alternatives where possible can help reduce some of these burdens. Building even a small emergency fund can provide a buffer against unexpected expenses and reduce reliance on high-cost services. However, it is important to recognize that this issue is not solely the result of personal choices or individual financial behavior. Structural factors, such as unequal access to quality education, limited availability of affordable financial services, lack of stable employment opportunities, and systemic barriers within economic institutions play a significant and often decisive role. These challenges are deeply embedded in the way systems are designed, making it harder for individuals to improve their circumstances even when they make responsible decisions. Addressing the hidden tax on poor people, therefore, requires broader awareness, honest conversations, and meaningful systemic improvements that make essential services more accessible, affordable, and equitable. Ultimately, the hidden tax on poor people is a complex, layered, and often invisible force that continuously perpetuates financial inequality across societies. It is not just about earning less money, it is about consistently paying more for the same goods and services, facing greater financial risks, and having significantly fewer opportunities to build, protect, and grow wealth over time. These hidden costs accumulate quietly through daily life, making it harder to break free from financial pressure and creating a cycle that reinforces itself generation after generation. Understanding this concept is the first and most crucial step toward addressing it, both individually and collectively, because awareness leads to better decisions, stronger advocacy, and ultimately the possibility of creating systems that are more fair, accessible, and supportive for everyone.
All right, my future millionaires. That's a wrap for today. If you got some value from this, don't just sit on it. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more money-making secrets. Turn on those notifications because wealth waits for no one. Stay smart. Stay hungry. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get rich.